This is Condensed Footage 17. Let's take a look at my videos. Now, I'm going to make a condensed footage of the condensed footage to condense it into at least a half an hour to an hour description, as it's already almost about 2 hours, maybe more. Now this video.
Can you imagine winning $5 grand a week for the rest of your life?
I'm speechless.
Then
Right here.
Now, I started saying stuff like I should act like I'm running for president if I'm really gonna to find more meaning in life and be happier about every single thing I do and live, life a lot better. And I was talking how I should, treat like I'm running for president, like almost like a, whatever, like a thought experiment, even though I know it's gonna happen in real life. And then all of a sudden at this place, at 7-Eleven, they start talking about a president, and then they start talking to female staff. Now watch this.
Oh, I'm not mad at her. She's the security of the building.
Yeah.
See how she says, yeah. That doesn't sound right. Think about it. Think about this.
Security of the building.
Yeah.
Now, I know how to tell you this, but they talk to my internal monologue. I'll pretend to say something like, "You're Jesus," and they actually will be like, "Yeah," and stuff like that. And they had the Deadpool there because they wanted me to think I was like becoming new. I know it sounds crazy. I know that might not make exactly sense how that would match up, but Deadpool could survive anything. They wanted me to think I was like being reborn again, and that I survived all of it. I know it sounds crazy, but like I said, they all of a sudden start talking about, "Oh, that girl is the president." They were trying to make me think I'd be like a female president, right when I happened to be talking about presidents, or being like running for president. And same thing with all the other the girl dog stuff with the books and stuffed animals. If you watch all my condensed series, this happened live. I have video evidence that I was talking about, and then it would happen more and more and more. The more I talked about it, the more it would happen. Like I talk about how they want me to turn into a little girl or a dog, and all of a sudden there's a little girl that stole my name on Facebook that Hayden used to know. Then what was this? Right off the... I'm like a crime... So, like I talked about, everything is basically back to normal. I mean, and that doesn't mean that this was just some weird, freaky event. This, I know, in fact, was related to me, and I know for 100% fact that it was Lucifer, the devil, Satan, and Illuminati doing it. Because I know what I know, and you don't gotta question it. Trust me, in due time, soon, very soon, you will learn that everything that I talk about will make a lot more sense once I rearrange all the videos and compile the evidence. Every single person who said I was schizophrenic or delusional will realize that I am nothing of the sort, and that all of this will be life-changing for every single person in the whole entire world once they, I don't know, start to connect the dots a little bit. So, now bear with me. Just imagine if you thought in your head, look at a thought experiment. Look up what a thought experiment is if you do not know. Look up what the Illuminati is if you don't know. Look up lizard people. Look up the deep state. Look up the secret government. Look up stuff with the government. Look up demonic aliens, entities, ghosts, anything. Can I get a conspiracy theorist to watch my videos? The conspiracy theorists, you think would be all over this if I explained it just the right way and compiled the evidence the right way. So imagine if you were paranoid, quote unquote, I'd say, about character that you call Lucifer, the devil, Satan, Illuminati, lizard people, type of stuff like that, and you thought or knew that they wanted you to become a little girl or a dog, and all of a sudden you started seeing people with red hair more. It would be the equivalent of you having blue hair and seeing like 1 out of 100 people with blue hair. Then all of a sudden you start seeing like 3 or 4 people with blue hair out of 100. That's 3 or 4 times more. That is something that I think is not normal. Now imagine that you don't travel or go to work or hang out with friends or do anything. Imagine if you're only in a 1 mile radius, if you don't count the bus or sitting in like a Burger King or something. Now imagine that every single thing, so it feels more personal. Now imagine that every single thing that you were thinking about just kept like coming to life almost and right before your very own eyes. So let's just say you're paranoid about, not paranoid, but let's just say you are suspicious that the devil, who's Illuminati with lizard people, want to turn you into a little girl or a dog, and you're walking through the store, and all of a sudden, you see, and you know that they're trying to pretend to be you and stuff like that, be your family, and all of a sudden, there's this book here. And say you notice them putting gloves everywhere, and there's this book here, next to this. family for beginners. And you're suspecting them of making you and making you into a girl and a dog and trying to handle your family and stuff, and that there's no books over here. It's just like there's like 2 books. I mean, there's books here, but they were still spaced out more, like specifically kind of replaced a little differently. And then there was a glove right here. Now imagine that you think that they want you to turn you into a girl, and you start noticing like, let's say movies about women placed next to Dr. House, who I talk about. Pretend you were telling Dr. House and watching Dr. House a little bit. All of a sudden you see a Barbie movie misplaced. Let's say this is Dr. House, and then you see a Barbie movie placed right next to it like this, and then everything else is normal. And then you see out of all the movies, let's just pretend these are movies, that there's no movies displaced, and all of a sudden you go over and you see a movie like this that's displaced a little bit, like this. You know, I mean, not like this, because the movies can be like that, and it's a girl with red hair. Now, let's also imagine that this wasn't happening before, and that I have an eye, like OCD kind of, for stuff like this, noticing patterns and whatever. So I can notice a pattern where most people wouldn't. I know that wasn't normal, and I know what I'm talking about to be true. And then, what else? And imagine you thought that they want to turn you into a little girl or a dog, and you started noticing all these gloves everywhere, and they wanted to pedophile you. Now imagine all the books are normal except for 2 of them. One day you walk in, all within like a week or 2 or 3 weeks, and you pick up this book and it says missing. And you pick up this book and it says, no, it's a family for beginners one. Now imagine you're talking about them, and a guy comes up to you holding an action figure, and I knew they were trying to insinuate that I was their action figure, that they were in control of me, and they were going to brainwash me and do stuff like that, because it's like a subliminal messaging. So then I started interrogating the guy, asking him about Jesus Christ, and he looked more suspicious than anything. I mean, he was like this. Like, as I was talking to him about...
Now let's look at that video. The action figure, man. And I don't know if I told you this. I saw a girl holding a doll with red hair. That video unfortunately got erased. And then another time I saw a guy holding an Elmo doll right around the same time. And the video is right around here. Now look at this guy.
So which one do you like better? Hey, excuse me. Hey, you know Jesus?
See how he's not making eye contact? See how every single time I ask a question, he kind of like looks away. You'll see that more in the video. Let's roll from the beginning. And like I said, around the same time I started seeing the stuffed animals everywhere, more and more. At least, like they always did some stuff like that, but then it started having more and more. I started seeing the action figures, where a guy was holding an action figure. I knew what he was insinuating. And it was because Lucifer tries to make me feel however I make them feel, and they feel that all the evidence that they're giving me, they almost feel like I'm voodooing them into it. And I explained before my tactics on how I got them to do all this for me. At the same time as they think that it'll make me get amnesia, they think I took advantage of what they were planning to do already, but then made them do it even more. And now it's kind of obvious that there's people after me.
Hey, excuse me. Hey, you know Jesus? You know Jesus? Do you believe in him? Like Jesus Christ? You know Jesus Christ? Do you know Satan?
Yeah, I know.
See how he got wicked nervous when I said, you know, Satan? And the reason believe it or not, the reason he's moving his right hand and put his hand up and started moving around, twisting around all weird like that, is because he was trying to comfort himself and also distract me and even himself from the fact that I was talking with Satan. And now let's rewind a little bit. I'm a body language expert, by the way. Let's rewind to about 18 seconds. So it's like he said he knows Jesus, and he believes in Jesus, but he's kind of like, he's almost giving that's the same answer someone, if I said, hey, do you know where this is, or do you know where that is, they'd be like, I don't know. So that's basically his body language, just saying, I don't know, I don't get it. But he's saying yes.
Like Jesus Christ? You know Jesus Christ?
See how he hold on.
Do you know Satan?
And that looks like a guilty person, where it's like I'm showing him a video of the crime he committed, and he's nodding up and down, almost like he committed a crime. And see, every time I say something, he kind of jets away and looks away real quick. Do you notice how that's not normal body language? Imagine if you were asking someone, imagine if you knew a football player, and you asked them about Tom Brady. When they were saying yes, would they close their eyes and look up and down and quickly look away every 10 seconds?
Yeah, I know.
And then imagine if you said say someone admitted to loving Tom Brady and being a Patriots fan, then all of a sudden you start asking about the New York Jets, and there was a guy that the guy started raising his hand and started going like this to be like, yeah, I love the New York Jets. I love the Patriots. Started like moving his hands all around weirdly. That wouldn't alarm you?
I know.
Like a red red alarm, red flag.
Who's Jesus and who's Satan?
When see how he pointed down when he said Jesus and up when he said Satan? That's them trying to subliminally talk to me again. It seems, or it's this subconscious, unconscious thing he's doing where he thinks that Satan is good and Jesus is bad. Believe it or not. Now keep watching.
Like the devil, Lucifer.
See how he got scared for a second? Every other question he slightly had his eyes open still, but then this one he paused extra long and kept his eyes open. So there's a difference when I asked him about Satan, the devil, and directly asked him. Now watch this.
The devil,
He's almost looking at me like he's scared or intimidated that I'm actually interrogating him.
Lucifer.
He's no longer blinking the same way. You could tell he changed his the state of emotions that he's in.
So which one?
And again, he's closing his eyes and going up and down, almost like someone getting arrested. Look at interrogations of police on a criminal. Look at someone who's watching the crime they committed and is trying to lie about it. He's giving off the same exact body language and energy as that.
Which one do you like better?
And again, why does he always have to jet away? Think about it. You don't think that guy looks guilty? I mean, you should have seen him without if he didn't have his mask on. He didn't have his hat on either. And then he kind of paused, right when I was asking about the devil more. He kind of paused, stopped blinking, and looked away, nodded his head still, the same way, and just kind of shrugged, I don't know, what do you mean, the devil? How do you know that's me? It's almost like they're in shock.
Jesus? Really? Say the
It's almost see how he nods his head quicker this time and less enunciated. He doesn't. It wasn't a nod that you can. It was a quick nod. Yeah. I love Jesus. Yeah, I love Jesus. He just that's what his body language is saying, as if he was saying it like that out loud, but he's saying it differently.
devil.
Huh?
The devil.
And then he also said, "Huh? What?" You should have seen he's so terrified of burning in hell. These people that this is why one of the reasons why they're doing it. You should have seen the other day. They wanted me to be convinced that the Holy Spirit was talking through them or something, and that there was these people praying. And I went up to them and asked them about Jesus, and I said, "Do you know Jesus?" And he said, "Who?" I said, "Well, huh? What?"
No, Jesus.
Oh, like Jesus better?
He said, "Oh, Jesus is better." I was almost he's angry that I'm interrogating him. At the same time, he's trying to smile and be happy, he's slightly terrified. Does that look like a terrified man, a happy man, or something slightly in between?
Oh, really?
What do you like?
I like Jesus better.
Yeah,
I mean, he's the only one.
Yeah, I mean, you like Jesus better. I mean, that's not the normal body language of a Christian. I can show you. I wish I could go up to someone that's normal, but unfortunately, there's not many people around here that are normal. If you went up to a Christian, they wouldn't be like this. And if I said to a Christian, "Do you like the devil?" they would assume I'm a devil worshiper or pranking them or making he didn't know he was being recorded, by the way. This is a thing where he didn't know. Well, how do I say this? He knew he was being recorded, but it wasn't like I asked him. Do you know what I mean by that? If he's the devil, he knew I was recording him. But I'm saying I didn't ask this guy directly if I could record him.
There's no other God besides him.
See how it looks like I'm interrogating him and he committed a crime that he's too scared to admit. I mean, it looks like he's crying at this point. He did, and he was only on the bus for one stop, and then got off and rode his bike away, like a scared little, a boy or a girl or something.
exactly.
You like action figures?
Yeah, come on.
You collect them?
See how he blinked extra long like that, but only one time, and he didn't nod up and down? Because he knows why he's on that bus. It's to make me feel as if I'm their action figure, because they want to control me, scare me, intimidate me. They want to molest me. They want to torture me. They want to all the above. Anything that's even closely related to those words.
Who's that?
I mean, that's the equivalent of me being a police officer and interrogating someone and be like, "Did you commit this murder?" And then be like, "No," but them nodding yes. Or maybe not, maybe that's not the exact analogy, but something similar, You know what I mean by this. You can easily see that that guy looks guilty, and that there's something not quite right about him.
He's a current superstar in WWE.
How often is it that you would see a 40-year-old man with a action figure anyways? That's not normal. Especially at around the same time, they're putting stuffed animals everywhere. They're trying to make me feel like a little girl or a dog or a baby or a kid. Why not an action figure? They've done other stuff with the, if you notice in the series where I show you the leashes, that they want me to feel like I was on a leash, and the cable cord, and the belt, all around the same, like, week, or, like, couple of days, where they put the Valentines near the dog aisle, right next to the leashes. They put the, Spider-Man outfit near the cable cords, because they wanted to represent a leash. And then they put a belt in a carriage, walked 20 feet away, went back to it, took the belt out, and walked away. And that was the same guy that talked about baby Jesus and being Jewish, and then asked me if I prayed to Satan.
You ever heard of Wade Lonsdale? No.
See how that body language expression was a lot different than the other ones, where, let's rewind that again. Like a squinting, almost like a pain.
You ever heard of Wade Lonsdale?
See how he slowly went down, and that's different than any other expression. So apparently, he has heard of Hayden Lonsdale and was almost in pain because of it, and was trying to hide his body language from me. It's just like interrogating a foreign agent. It's just like, imagine if you saw someone who was pretending to be American, and you notice they had like a slight accent. Now, there's been spies who have been caught because someone said, like, hold these flowers in your hand, and people from Eastern Europe hold flowers differently, and the person accidentally held their flowers differently, or it was something very similar to that. And it was a person who caught a foreign agent by testing them culturally. Now, keep watching.
No. You ever heard of
And again, like, no. I mean, if someone said, hey, if someone walked up to you and said, hey, do you know, imagine some random name. Do you know Jack, some random name, some random guy named Jack. That's not exactly as normal as you would think. You'd probably say, no. That guy almost looks guilty, or that he's scared, he's trying to hide his body language. Because I even said, I'm going to start interrogating you guys. And I said it, no one can hear me.
Orgalord?
Who?
Orgalord?
See how he almost got slightly scared? He said, no, I don't. And then he was like, wait, who? Because it really sunk into him when he got scared. You should see the other time I interrogated someone. And right when I said the word Orgalorg, he literally, he just, almost wanted to walk away and got wicked scared. You should see that video. I'll show that one next. Just so it's back to back. Now let's look up who Orgalorg is. Orgalorg is this person where it's a giant god that put himself and shrunk himself down into a penguin. Now that's what I'm like. Like this. And I even told him that I fell from the sky. Kind of like the vengeful one from Disturbed, and Alien Boy from Oliver Tree, and other series. So they feel like they're talking to, they know they're not talking to Hayden Lonsdale anymore. So this depiction of it really scares them. It scares them more than anything or anyone. Now I can explain how that means a lot more in the future. And that's why that scares the crap out of them, because I told them I'm not Hayden Lonsdale anymore. And that's what happened to that penguin. It got taken over by a gigantic god that uses the penguin as a vessel. Like how God uses me as a vessel.
Who's that?
It's God.
See how he's looking at me like, who's that? Like, he's almost like, he's more concerned about it than he should be. See how he looks more concerned, like he wants, it almost appears as though he really wants to know who this Orgalorg is. But at the same time, he's suspicious and angry, which would point, if you mix all that together and some weird alchemy, it would point to the fact, like I said, he's trying to distract me, he knows who Orgalorg is, and he's also slightly scared and angry.
You know God?
And then he's like, yes. Now he's starting to get annoyed and angry because he knows I'm interrogating him. And they thought I'd never be able to know how to do this. I'm literally a body language expert. That's how I memorize patterns. That's how I know people's body language. That's how I know all this links to the fact that they don't have human body language. Every single thing they try and do is just to bother me and annoy me. And torture me and lust me and try and insinuate that I'm a baby or a girl or a kid. Or they're trying to insinuate to be me. They talk to my internal dialogue too. Like they try and match it up with their conversations where I'm talking inside my head about something or just thinking, and they'll say yes or no's at specific times or speak in weird ways where it almost appears as if they're talking to me. I had it on camera for them. That's one of the videos I'll do next to prove that. See how he's blinking all weird and kind of like it's almost like he's waking up from like a slumber. You know when you get like you get that feeling, you get that chill in the back of your neck. Now it almost feels like he's so scared of me, he's like falling asleep or something. And that's not him just being bored with me. He got on the bus for one stop and he had a bike. That's not normal.
Occasionally when I'm not kind of working.
Yeah. Where do you work?
What are you doing?
I'm just chilling on the bus trying to talk to everyone.
He's almost insinuating that he's working now. If you really, really pay attention to that, think outside the box and think creatively, it's almost like he's insinuating he's already at work, not going to work. And if he was going to work, why was he only on the bus for one stop and he had a bike? That's not normal. That's not, and I don't think if he could have just said, "Hey man, I don't want to talk." He didn't have to like get off the bus and run from me.
I go around talking to people about Jesus and stuff.
See how when I said Jesus, he got like almost like he lit up for a second. He got scared. Let's rewind that.
I'm just chilling on the bus trying to talk
Almost looks scared, don't you think?
to everyone. I go around talking to people about Jesus and stuff.
Like, you kind of get scared for a second, a little bit.
Good, man. I mean, seriously, you just speak the word, man.
Yeah. You know there's only one Jesus?
Yeah. I know there's one Jesus.
See, he said yes, and he got scared and wanted to divert, and he wanted to distract, and he's also, again, when you could tell when he gets really uncomfortable, he starts using his hands. His tell when playing poker.
Savior. When you give yourself to him, you know.
Yeah.
Really antsy to get off that bus. So wherever he's going in a hurry. See how quick he wanted to get off that bus? And it's not because he didn't want to talk. All he had to do was say, "I don't want to talk." And again, he had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to insinuate that I'm their action figure and that they're just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They might as well have a van drive by that says rape on it. Now let's look at the other video. I mean, these people are like hunting me. I never really occurred how long these videos are. Even the guy with the other doll. That lady told me to listen to her orders and that her son is Jesus, and she's trying to offer me a real estate job. Does this sound normal to happen in like 1 month time, basically? I know it's been 2 months since I started recording, but if you look at the videos that I've been making, it's most of my videos are within the last 2 weeks. This isn't like something that always happens. I mean, this isn't some, how do I say it? It always happens, but it's not like it's been that long where it's just like normal. And even if it was that really extra normal? Is that more normal? I think it's less normal. The stuff with the kid stuff everywhere. They're trying to insinuate I'm her, giving her a flower. She has a Burger King hat. Someone steals my name. Now look at this video. More action figure men. Let's look at this.
Parts, what's he gonna say? There's people doing weird body language stuff around him that it's meant to target him and harass him and bless him and give him amnesia. I mean, what's he gonna say? That there's a reptilians, him talking about Jesus. He's just gonna look mentally challenged and schizophrenic and delusional. I mean, I'm literally Jesus Christ reporting. And how do you expect to believe me about heavenly things if I can't even tell you stuff that's going on earth? And that's something I said last time. Even people last time didn't believe in me. So this time it might be near impossible to even get one person to believe in me. I mean, I told you. Now, a bunch of
Oh, like I told you, they
with red hair and they're girls.
will stand that weird way. I point out on videos where not everyone used to stand like that before. Once I told them not to, they started doing it. I'm not even kidding. They actually started doing it more once I told them not to. So theoretically, how could they hear me?
Like 3 people working here with red hair, and there's a bunch of people happening in Miami where they all have red hair. The guy with the action figure.
Like, again, that's not normal. Who does a guy that age? These aren't kids holding action figures that I'm just like getting paranoid over. It's literally people holding an action figure. You should have seen there was a girl holding a doll with red hair. There was a guy holding an Elmo doll all around the same time as that other guy. Then they stopped doing the whole action figure thing for a while, or a doll thing, and they started doing this. I mean, they started doing it again.
Like I said, they always have action figures around. They're always trying to.
And that guy, look at
me. And they know.
Like, see how that guy like walks in almost holding his penis? That's like imagine being a man who wants to sleep with a woman, or say, you know, whatever sexuality, a human to human, and you just imagine you couldn't hold it so much that you almost want to touch your penis whenever you're around them. That's how, or vagina, or whatever. That's how they are around me.
No, that a bunch of people will think I'm schizophrenic.
And see how he walks. That's the other guy. Now he's watching when he starts itching around me.
Let's take a look at this guy over here, knowing I'll come here.
This guy was a little different, but before he was insinuating, he was really just sitting there, and he had his hand on his penis.
Do it anymore. But that's the thing, like I said, now they think in their heads that if this guy is insinuating exactly like that, then I'll just look schizophrenic and delusional, which of course to some people I will, because this might be the only video watch. If you watch just one of my videos, of course I'm going to sound schizophrenic and delusional.
And then right when I walk around, he's putting his hand in his pockets, and he takes it out, like he's rubbing his pocket in and out, like they just can't wait to touch me or molest me or torture me. Their body language is that of guilty pedophiles, and it screams, well, demon, because who the hell else is working together? Who else would be able to do this? They copy me, they do weird stuff to me, they put subliminal messages everywhere, they insinuate that I'm a little girl or a dog. I mean, that's literally what a pedophile would do. They're trying to dress like kids around me. They're trying to seem like my mom and dad. That's literally exactly what a pedophile would do. The other day I saw pliers next to a mask, next to like something else that would literally just insinuate, keep your mouth shut.
They're trying to psychologically.
And there's like I told you, there's a guy that they started insinuating, like there was a guy that tried to look like Jesus. Like they had 2 guys that were trying to look like Jesus, as in me. And then all of a sudden their son's name was Aiden. And it was the same day that girl was stalking me.
They're all Jesus, and I'm the true son of Lucifer. At the same time, they try and insinuate that I have to be a girl first and stuff like that. And it's stuff that I've explained on the video that will just make me look more crazy. I have to feed people the red pill, like little bits at
And this is the same day that girl was there with the rose.
a time. Just tiny little bits at a time. So I tell them,
it was literally like 20 minutes later, half an hour later.
Out of it in Miami instead of, and they try and do weird body language that they're trying to insinuate that you're a little girl.
Strange body language stuff that they want me to look at them, anything.
That you're a little girl and
does that look like, I can't help but to laugh at that body language one, but does that look like what a normal person would be doing? They're touching them, their butts, their crotches, they have action figures, and supposedly those 2 people together and the other guy isn't.
You should be in a pub play, and they try and do weird body language stuff to harass you. They're trying to give you amnesia and psychologically make people think that you're schizophrenic and just do weird stuff.
And that lady like saw me basically walking towards her and just kind of walked right through. I mean, I could have moved too. That's my fault a little bit too. But that happens a lot of times where I'm just walking around the corner and someone happens right there because they're addicted to that energy, that emotion, that feeling. They're addicted to any single way they can hurt me or annoy me or do anything to me, getting my order wrong, anything.
Stuff where they'll have someone come in that slightly looks like a nurse's outfit, but not. At the same time, they put
and like the nurses thing I told you, I used to see like 1 to 2 out of 100 people wearing nurses outfits, sometimes 3. Then it started being like 4 or 5, and then after a while, it was like literally 5 out of 100 people wearing like nurses outfits, and then 6 or 1 or 2 people out of 100 wearing stuff that looked close to nurse outfits. They want me to think we'll go into like the mental hospital or like a hospital or something. They're just trying to put that like a subliminal like feeling in me.
People that look like nurses around me more and more because they want to get me to go to the mental hospital. They want to get me to just look like I'm insane. If I was the mess, I went to the hospital and said, oh my God, there's reptilians everywhere. They'd put me away for weeks. Imagine going to the police. Imagine even going to the government, they would laugh at me. When I went to report this to the FBI,
I see, again, he just, right when I happen to look at him, he just moves and starts, like, moving his penis and his crotch and stuff. It's not strange to
These are
anyone.
reptilian people. Look up
These are the videos where it's like really
so
gonna
many
start
things. They're
approaching.
lizards. Like the serpent is a lizard. The dragon in the Revelations is a lizard. I mean, I told you the other day, there was a guy on camera that I have to tell you about that talks about baby Jesus, and he was pointing at me. Because they want to see I'm baby Jesus, not regular Jesus. It's like baloney. They're like, we believe in one of our lies? When will you believe in our lies? They've tried through Hayden Lonsdale's whole life, well, not him, to psychologically make it so that every...
Now, let's take a look at another video. It has the 2 action figure people, and then... Now, let me look at...
So, like I talked about, everything is basically back to normal. Yeah, because it's like a subliminal message. Here. And they talk to me telepathically in my head.
The socks where I went to the aisle to look at the cable cords to see if they did anything was strange to it and explain what happened before, and there was socks with a girl that had red hair there. Just sitting there. That's not creepy to you?
So,
if you don't think it's creepy by now, you're definitely one of them. There would be a literal 99.9% chance to either have no brain, or you're just one of them.
I mean, Lucifer isn't technically like a demonic alien, a being that can really just talk to me in my head. You should have seen one day, I was talking about, I'm gonna make it look like I'm running for president. Like, I'm gonna, just for meaning in life, and to an Elmo doll, and it was all when they were trying me. I'm already there, like my conversations match out with what I'm doing and talking about. I've proved that more and other stuff. And imagine you start seeing license plates that all say CSI on it, and EBT, and you happen to be getting EBT, and whenever you say, I'm Jesus Christ, there happens to be like a JCX cup next by, or some sort of sign that says JC. Switching places, I'm trying to make them think that I'm gonna get... It's not like life was always like this. I just went to the store one day and noticed everything was written. And like talk to my internal monologue. Like imagine if every time you were talking in your head about like video, like I'm not. And again, I'm trying to make them nice and me right now. I'm right next to like that basically. It's to make them think. You start seeing license plates around say NCS and CIS and CSI and you know crime scene investigator as you're it feels like you're investigating a crime. Interesting the other day, but there was a guy that was trying to look like Jesus to me. He by with like girl clothes. He had literally like a bra, girl clothes, girl underwear, like bananas or something, and then that's it. And it was a guy. God, as I'm trying to say, they're pretending to be me in a thing, imagine a conspiracy theory. If I
take a look at...
Once again, a stray cart, I call it them loose carts around. And, well, speaking of whole natural, I don't really think that's too natural, honestly. I gotta be careful of them watching me record and stuff, because I don't want to get captured out of these Walmarts. So, I'm only gonna show you stuff that's happening when it's happening. But you just gotta bear with me. If I ever make anything match up, you know I'm not lying. There's no point to. So I found out that... Now, that's a little bit strange, right?
Now, that's another thing. I feel like coronavirus has been going down. And then all of a sudden, I started seeing put on more and more gloves. And now that they're not putting the gloves on the ground as much anymore, they're not wearing the one gloves anymore, now they're just having people wear 2 gloves so it looks like coronavirus, and they hope I look schizophrenic.
It's once in a while it's okay to be wearing gloves and stuff. I say that's more normal. But the thing is that that's not normal when you mix it with the Mickey Mouse shirt. It's like that screams pedophile right to me when I know for a fact that that is a satanic demon monster lizard person. Now bear with me, I found a video that I have that's old, that is literally of a girl that's about 8 years old and she has one red glove on. And her dad was buying gloves, and I didn't even know that they were together. I didn't know they were shopping together. And all of a sudden I see them shopping together, and I just said, that's it, that's evidence. And I also, you just have to have faith in me. On my old phone, I have pictures of these glasses that I found on the trash around Halloween. And there was like one eye, just scared me. And then I started seeing all these signs everywhere about like, where I noticed patterns like no one else. I mean, I literally can notice patterns anywhere. And these stores weren't like this before. Even when I first got here, there wasn't as many people with red hair. There wasn't items misplaced everywhere, and they weren't as strangely misplaced.
It reminds me of like some sort of Rain Man someone might think I am. To be able to notice all this and just be able to do it nonchalantly and just with ease, be able to literally make the Illuminati reptilian shapeshifters that walk amongst us reveal themselves, and you will see that there's no way that all these people aren't connected, and that there's no way it's one person in the store, when there's also other people involved. The guy in the bus, all the action figure people are all linked. So it's not just one person in the store doing all this to me.
They weren't randomly misplaced. Now, think about it like this. If you notice things being misplaced, and you're like, oh, that's weird, and say you had blue hair, and you start seeing more and more people with blue hair, that'd be cause for alarm, right? I mean, at least there's some suspicion. Now, there was a day where I saw Spider-Man over here. Now, oh, what do we have over here?
Now, is that not suspicious? leashes, cable cords. That I even said in my head, there people gonna think I'm like Spider-Man, putting all this stuff everywhere and just taking pictures of it, trying to get fame or something. When Spider-Man was Spider-Man, and I'm not the one putting these things everywhere. And all of a sudden, there's that. I saw a girl with that same shirt like the next day.
A girl with red hair and a skeleton near the cables. Right when I happened to be talking about the fact that I went over here one day and I saw a Spider-Man outfit near the cables, because I said, what if someone thinks I just put that stuff there to make this place sound creepy or haunted? So now the stores have gone from being at 10 to 20% normal. This is now again 30, 40%, I'd say. And I'm trying to rate it on some sort of scale. So I could go in and say, this store is 10%, this store is 20%, this store is 30, 40, stuff like that. Because I personally don't think it's normal. Now, I know it's not, but I'm just going to say as if I was one of you. I personally do not think that this is normal. Now, I'd love to know why you think it is, especially with the way it happened. Imagine you know that there's people trying to pretend to be you and your dad and trying to make you think you're in a different world, or trying to make you think you're in hell already, and trying to surround you and intimidate you, make you into a girl, and misgender you, and all sorts of crazy stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, you start noticing more and more things being misplaced around the store, or all the stores you go to, I should say, for that fact. And it's all a peculiar common theme. Now, I hope you saw the video where the other day, someone was over here, and I'm looking at these books trying to see what's misplaced, what isn't, see if there's any more common themes I can find for us all. And there's a man over here that was looking, and there's calendars, and he was misplacing them. And he had one that was of a woman model, and then he looked through a dog one, and then he tapped a Mickey Mouse thing. And then he left one on top that said Bob, because he knows that that name means something to me, if it's one of them, which I know it was. Now, this seems to be not too misplaced, but they know that I'm onto them, but they're in such a state of denial and delusion and hubris that they think that I'll sound schizophrenic or delusional. I mean, I hope I really don't. I know I pause in my speech sometimes. I'm trying to make sure I say it in the best, most properly worded way. And as I'm literally talking about this, the perfect match book and the feeling for beginners, I'm starting to find gloves all over the place again. Already I found 3 gloves today, but one of them was so normal because it was outside of 7-Eleven that I didn't really want to count it as one of those gloves. Because, you know, you go get the donuts and you need a glove. As on this, I see that guy trying to like be so obvious about it. I think they're trying to make it look like that I'm doing it or I'm working with these people, which I wouldn't doubt if people would believe that and think I'm just some rich person trying to get, you know, what you people call, like, you know, noticed online. So that's not what's going on. Now this doesn't seem too misplaced, but what if you notice? What if you thought that people want to turn you into a little girl or a dog and misgender you and stuff, and all of a sudden you go over here and you see that next to a glove, and you notice people putting gloves everywhere. Now imagine you in your head think that Satan, the demon monsters, the lizard people want to make you feel however you make them feel, and all of a sudden you start seeing people with action figures walking around and stuffed animals. And this was before Valentine's Day. And you start noticing. Then another time, I noticed a guy with a belt in his hand, and he was walking to a carriage, put the belt in the carriage, walked away from it, and then went back to it and took it and walked away. And it was the same guy that said to pray to baby Jesus, but he said that, do you ever pray to Satan? And then he also said he was Jewish. Does that all sound natural to you? Now imagine in your head that you think people want to turn you into a little girl or dog, and you notice that all the movies are normally placed, except for a Barbie one and something next to House. And you know that, and say you're talking about House recently.
Sorry I have to reiterate this. I don't want people forgetting about those videos and just thinking, oh, that didn't mean anything. I want people to know that those weren't the only things that happen. This happens on a daily basis, where every single thing, every single time I go to the store. So I started recording almost every single time I go into a store. So sometimes I go to these stores just to record. I don't even have to buy too much. I'll go there and buy like an ice cream or something like that and just report on what changes and study these stores and the body language of these stores. It's not normal and natural. Seeing things misplaced might be normal and natural once in a while, but it was like I said, it was like a wave approaching of people doing it more and more and more. The more I thought about something happening, the more it happened.
Now there was another day where, I mean, now obviously once in a while, that would be normal to see a movie misplaced. But honestly, I feel, if you want me to be 100% totally honest, I think they feel like we're Tom and Jerry right now. Where I'm like Jerry to them, where I keep getting away from them or something. And then this one, Dolph Lundgren, Bridge of Origins, the Peacekeeper. Now that seems to be them trying to make me think that they're on my side. They put it next to Avatar, because I always talk about how I love the movie Avatar.
They're not.
And then all the movies that are different. There's one over here called Looney Tunes, and it's different. Because I always said they're like the Roadrunner, or not the Roadrunner. I'm like the Roadrunner, and they're like the Wile E. Coyote. Because they keep trying to get me, and it just doesn't work. When I say get me, I mean scare me, intimidate me, lie to me, manipulate me. You know, get me to feel or sway me or move me or manipulate me or make me feel or be any different than I really am. Now explain to you, like one day, all the movies were regularly placed except for the dog. And I said they're trying to make me into it, and I go here, I was like, oh, of course, the dog movie was like this. And it's like the only movies misplaced. Same like 2 days ago, where I came here, the only movies, the only books that were misplaced were the books that all had to do with girls. And if you look at that video, you would realize that there's something going on, a very particular, peculiar, common theme that is not normal or natural. Now, I would like to explain why and how that's not natural, but I think I already did, because it's all matching up with my internal monologue, which they shouldn't be able to know anyways, right? I mean, if every single, believe it or not, see that old girl there? She was being dragged by her mom. I don't know if I filmed it in time for you to see fully. I said in a video yesterday.
I said they always do stuff like that with when it's a boyfriend and a boyfriend, a mom and dad with their son or daughter. They try and do weird body language stuff. They always pull each other. They'll always pull one of them towards another one. Or just be doing a bunch of crazy, strange body language stuff.
Yesterday, they want me to feel dragged. They'll literally be around me and try and make a boy start holding his girlfriend closer, or a girl start holding her boyfriend closer. And they always time out in very peculiar ways where they're trying to make me, like, it's like they're schizophrenic and delusional. I know it sounds weird because I probably sound schizophrenic and delusional, but trust me, if you watch all my videos, you will understand how I'm not like that. I'm not schizophrenic delusional. In fact, the humanity would be better off if I was in some weird way, but I'm actually not. So, I bet there's probably some weird stuff about Easter going on recently. Like, even, I don't know if you saw some of the videos where obviously a bunch of people like all standing like that, and it's right when I talked about it. Now imagine if in your head you said, I wonder why everyone's standing with their arms behind your back, and you notice that like 1 out of 100 people standing like that. Then you started seeing like 3 or 4 to 5 people out of 100 standing like that. Like the other day, like one day, all the cards were rearranged in order properly, except for one that said dad and a unicorn. And again, imagine you think that there's people rearranging stuff around the store while everyone thinks they're schizophrenic or delusional, and then you go to the store and there's literally a unicorn and a stuffed animal in the baby carriage aisle. And imagine you think that there's people trying to make you into a little girl or a dog, and all of a sudden you see a dog in a baby carriage, and you see a couple of them. Now imagine even further that, oh, this is the island. Okay. Now imagine even further that you think in your head everyone is doing all the stuff I've talked about, and you see a trans woman with a dog that's in her driver's seat right when you pull up to Taco Bell, and it's the same people that wanted to make you think Taco Bell was like the Illuminati. Which, like the New Morning Order commercial, they've tried to insinuate so many crazy things on me. And it's crazy to think that they can get away with it when they really can't. I mean, they've tried so many ways. Like the girl that came up to me that she wanted to offer me a drink in a real estate job, and 2 days before, she was trying to tell me to pick up trash. It was my orders to do it, and that she told me her son. I mean, she really told me. I mentioned this before. Only one of them, and don't be Stitch. And there's a girl with a shirt that said God, and another shirt that said Stitch on it. I mean,
Let's look at more videos. There's a couple that I didn't upload yet that were from these days, and so around a week ago that I didn't even upload yet, and so that's always something to think about.
as you can see, more people's red hair already. 3 people's red hair, one of them works here. The other 2 didn't, and people wearing gloves. I mean, I know it's normal with the coronavirus to see people wearing gloves once in a while, but I never see people.
Now I'm gonna make this into, and I'm gonna do an even more condensed version soon, but I don't want it to get too long so people don't watch it. Already 41 minutes. I mean, think what that's like a another half an hour would be like a full movie, and that wouldn't even be scratching the surface of all the evidence I have of something going on in the world. So I'm gonna have to condense this even more somehow.